time travel. But before we get into that, let me tell you about the time I almost got married and why you shouldn't. Or should. Everyone's different. Now, as we all know, the word marriage comes from the ancient Mesopotamian word mari kamakuma, which roughly translates to grinding the hooves of a young goat. This is why traditionally people wear shoes to a wedding, a symbol of goat hooves. But what about my wedding? Were people wearing shoes? The thing is, I almost got married a long time ago. And at my age, my memory isn't the best. Sure, I can name all 50 states and their capitals, and I can even sing all 26 letters of the alphabet. Q, R, S, T, U, V. But the day I almost got married, that memory, it's a little fuzzy. Fear not. As you might have guessed, I have a way around this fuzzy memory with a little thought experiment. An experiment I like to call time travel. As we all know, time travel is not only possible, but it's been happening since Bell Laboratories created it in 1967. Yes, that's right. The same Bell Laboratories that routes all our phone calls. Well, that's not entirely true. We've always been able to time travel in one direction, forward. But that's not what we're interested in, right? The question has been, can we travel from the present to the past, and from the past to the future, which then becomes the present? Yes, we can. Hold on. Is time traveling safe? First, you should never ask if anything is safe, especially when you're taking advice from a random dude on the internet. Second, when you say safe, I assume you're referring to the 4 possibilities of time correction. The grandfather paradox. Let's say you travel back in time and kill your grandfather. Because apparently you're a psycho. Your grandfather is now dead, which means your father is never born, which means you're never born, which means you never go back in time to kill your grandfather, which means your grandfather is alive, which means your father is born, which means you are alive and you do go back in time to kill your grandfather, which means your grandfather is not born, which means your father is not born, which means you are not born, your father which means you don't go back in time to kill your grandfather, which means your grandfather is, which means you don't go back in your father is born, which means you then become born. You go back in time, your father is born, which means you then. There are 2 ways this paradox gets resolved. The first is that the universe implodes and you become responsible for the destruction of all existence. I could see you doing that. The second way is that you are prevented from killing your grandfather. Your gun won't work. Your knife won't work. Your hands won't work. The universe will prevent you from doing something stupid. When you're time traveling, the universe will prevent you from doing something stupid when you're time traveling. The infinite loop hypothesis. The claim is that by time traveling and trying to avoid a linear path, a person ends up detaching themselves from time. This causes them to get stuck in an area outside of time. Some scientists speculate that the time traveler in this scenario is stuck repeating the moments leading up to the time travel event. repeating the same thing over and over again for all eternity, because they are no longer part of time. I don't know what any of that means. Scenario 3, the safe bet. In this scenario, nothing you do in the past as a time traveler will affect your future. Say you go back in time and smash a priceless artifact. When you return to your present day, you'll realize that artifact had always been smashed. In fact, it was smashed before you even left. You just never realized it. A simple and very likely scenario, and I hate it. Why? Because it implies no free will. You were always going to go back in time to destroy that artifact, no matter what you did. As we all know, any theory that implies no free will goes straight to the garbage. Multiple universes. This idea has become very popular recently. The idea that every action you take creates a new universe. One universe where you decide to get out of bed on time, and another universe where you decide to sleep in. So if you go back in time and screw things up, it only screws things up in that universe. So maybe when you're going back in time, you're actually traveling to a different universe. So anything you do in that past won't affect your present. Or maybe you go back to your own past, but then anything you do there, when you leave, you're traveling to a new universe. So anything you've done in the past won't affect the new future, because that new future is in a new universe. No! This existence is hard mode. There are no second chances here. There are no other possibilities. There is no universe where you made the right choice, where you made the right decision. You failed here. You didn't apply yourself when you should have. You didn't hold your tongue when you should have. You broke her heart, and now you have to live with it. There is one silver lining to time travel. It's that you can relive all those moments, all those times you wish you could have made a different choice. You can relive them, but you can't change them. That's the true consequence of time travel. Now, you're probably wondering, how can I, as an individual, time travel? Do I need to create a machine? Do I need some kind of physics degree? Do I need to like and subscribe to your channel? No, and yes. All you need to time travel is right here. With your conscious mind, you can travel to any point in history. You see, consciousness is like a radio wave, and we are all radios. All you have to do is tune in to the right station. But how do I time travel? Using my mind. As always, only one place has the answer. Hollywood. That's right, it's time for our favorite part of the show, where we look at movies that help us time travel. As you've probably guessed, the secrets to time travel exist in everyone's favorite 80s movie about time travel. That's right, the 1980s romantic comedy, Somewhere in Time.
Christopher Reeves and Jane Seymour taught me so much about love. But what can they teach me about time travel?
Everything. Most of you already know this, but when you're watching Somewhere in Time, if you pay specific attention to the hotel room numbers and add them all up, what do you get? That's right, 846. 846. 846. The Egyptian, Assyrian, and Mesopotamian number for time travel. So take a deep breath close your eyes, and keep 846 in mind. The reason why 846 is important is because you have to visualize the place you're going to travel to for exactly 846 seconds.
Cops, America's Most Wanted, and of course, Unsolved Mysteries.
Will you both shut up? I'm trying to think of shit in here.
As you start getting closer to your destination, a lot of distractions will pop up.
Why did you say you're keeping us in your prayers?
Avoid the distractions. 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 Focus on the event. 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 Where was I? That's right, time travel. But before we get into that, let me tell you about the time I almost got married and why you shouldn't.
Wait, so did he actually time travel? Also, I still don't get the part about the goat.
Have you subscribed yet? Make sure to push that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell. That way you're never in the dark when a new video comes out.